Hey, what up? I, my thoughts got to wondering about Brian Laundrie and the vastness of portions of America, and I do a little traveling, and I see a lot of roadways, a lot of timber, and a lot of cover. I'm thinking, man, a lot of places Laundrie could hide, and I'm just thinking, surely he's getting lonely and depressed, and unless he's staying with somebody, or he gets to see somebody every once in a while, or he kind of sneaks into town and in disguise or whatever. But I was on the lam for a few years on the run, and it gets pretty rough when you're out in the woods. I couldn't handle it. I mean, I could if I forced myself to, but if you love to be loved by a woman or family or friends, and just like the companionship, we are human beings. So uh, you know, you get pretty depressed, and those woods get super quiet. I mean, it's something that you're typically not used to, and it's hard to get acclimated to it. And maybe an older man that's content with life and doesn't really care about anything other than just living out his days in the wild, that might be a lot easier. I've seen him do that like in Alaska and stuff, and some little makeshift plywood, shack out in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know, a young guy, I think he would probably get antsy and bored and lonely, and might even get hungry and cold. But even though you are a survivalist, I mean, harsh conditions can wear on you. But I got to thinking about, how his girlfriend was found, and I was like, well, I don't think that somebody that hypothetically, got in a situation that loves someone would just, let's say, shoot him or whatever. It'd be more like an assassination. I think it might have been things elevated, got in an argument, and possibly, got in a fight, and there might have been somebody, harmed in some kind of way, of strangulation or something like that. But things can happen between men and women, and it gets pretty passionate, whatever you want to call it, and it might have been an accident. He might have just been mad. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of us are guilty of some similarities, but anyhow, I I guess to give like an analogy, a little while back, a neighbor at my girlfriend's house was having a huge fight with, her boyfriend, and he went in the house, and she started screaming. It sounded like she was being murdered over there, just screaming bloody murder. And I was like, well, I'd hate to get involved, but right about that time, my girlfriend got off for lunch break. She rolled up, and I said, will you call in? They're over there. I mean, it's right exact same timing, basically. Will you call in and make sure she's okay, and maybe they'll quit fighting? And because, I mean, it was rough. I recorded it, and just what I could hear through the wall, but outside and everything. But this cop eventually rolls up, and my girlfriend goes out there, and they give each other a hug, and they start talking. I'm like, damn, there's like somebody next door that sounds like they're dying and shit. It's really weird. And then he goes over there finally and wails on the door and breaks him up, makes the dude leave, and he said they've been fighting. And then he comes over there. He doesn't know I'm in the house, and he comes over and starts talking to my girlfriend at the doorway, and like they're long lost fucking boyfriend or girlfriend or some shit. And I'm like, damn. So I get up and I walk by the door to go get my phone because I was going to give him the recording, and he sees me, and he just turns around and walks off. And I'm like, damn, how guilty can you be, First you hugged my girlfriend during the COVID era, and flirtatious situation. He's allegedly married. And so, I'm like, one of my mass confusions of this, being with this woman, and I realized I was with this woman that knows way too many dudes. And it starts getting confusing. You start getting mad, and it gets confusing. You start getting mad, and just start questioning the woman. And later on, I don't know, a month later, I see the same cop at a gas pump, and he jumps in his car, and I'm at the gas pump, next to him. The gas pump's dividing us, and he whirls it around and does a 360, and I'm walking to the store to get a drink and pay for my fuel, and he down there runs me over and slams on his brakes, and he's in his cop car. And Then he pulls in right behind me. I go to the door, and he walks in there, and he goes to the restroom, and he comes out, and I can hear his radio, and it's mentioning my name on there, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I went to the eye doctor one time, and I come outside. I was with her, and the person at the eye doctor knows my, like one of the managers. He knows my girlfriend. And there's this other guy she knows out there. He's friends with the guy that owns the managers of the store, the eye doctor store, and he comes up there and corners us up and makes sure she's okay. And like everywhere I was going, it's like I was getting cornered up. I'm like, damn, I'm just with a chick, and all these people are like psycho over possessive. So I started getting, pretty fucking goddamn mad. I mean, I was like ready to hurt some motherfuckers, and like, and I understand. And, I was like, this stuff's taking me to a level that I've never felt before in my life, and I could just as easily get in a position really quick that I don't need to be in, don't want to be in. And I could go on and on and on, but so I understand that things can happen between a man and a woman. And I had a lot of problems with her, and I don't know, we worked it out. I guess she's straightened out for now, but I tried to walk away a few times, and she hunted me down like a dog and gave me back, so here I am. But I was thinking about Laundrie, and I was like, surely he's, not in a swamp with snakes and gators and skeeters and wet all the time. And what is he doing? There's people walking around looking for him. I don't believe that. I mean, that's like the worst place. When I first saw it, I thought the movie like Band of the Hand, and they sent those prisoners out there, or whatever, the people that were in trouble out there on an airboat, and they dropped them off on an island, and they were like catching fish with a fishing reel made out of string and a can, and trying to spear wild hogs. And that's what it made me remind. I was like, that's not a good place to survive. I mean, it's like you're kind of, trapped in a swampy situation. But I also got to thinking about, Dog the Bounty Hunter, and bounty hunters in general, they're like, they're like the worst idea ever. They're, somebody coming up to you, pretending like they're your friend or something, and all of a sudden they attack you. I mean, it's like the worst idea ever. They need to abolish bounty hunters. They're dangerous, and they're sick in the mind, and they just want to make money, and I don't believe it's about the justice. I think they just want to, get violent and make money. But they need to get rid of those people. That's just a really dangerous situation. A lot of people get hurt because those people, and they go after people sometimes, and they pick the wrong person, and they end up hurting them or killing them, and all by accident, allegedly. But I'm rattling on. But I don't know. I was on the run for a few years, and I was in a vehicle, and I got pulled over. Finally went to jail. It wasn't in my name or anything. It was all legit, and got pulled over by a DPS, and said my license plate light was out. I was driving. I was going to switch when I passed them in the ditch at night, but I was like, surely everything's fine, and nothing's in my name. Everything works. And they run up behind me and turn the lights off, and they turn them back on. They turn the lights off, and they were driving in the dark, and I guess to see if the license plate light was working. It was a rookie being trained by an older guy. Pulled me over and said, your license plate's not working. And they said, oh, when you get a warrant, by the way, because I showed them my license. And then they put me in the front seat, and at the time, my wife and child were in there, and they drove off in my car. They didn't search the car or anything. That weird, like I'm a wanted fugitive. They didn't search the car, and that's strange. Like I got called in on, and the license plate light was on. It wasn't out. It was a lie. I got pulled over on a scam. Then they held me for 100 days, no bond, and couldn't get out of jail. And then I got out of jail finally because they released the bond thing and the hold on the bond. And let's see what happened. Oh yeah, my ex-wife got, at the time my wife, she hooked up with her family, and they ganged up against me, and divorced, almost 2 decades worth of relationship down the drain. So trust me, that was a hard time for me after that. I went through some massive depression and worked through it. I had the doctor fill myself out of that. But I was just going to reach out. I got to tell you another story so you can kind of understand my life. The other day, I was coming back from New Orleans, and I pulled in the driveway at the farm, and there was this old model car sitting in the driveway, I was like, my girlfriend's with me, and I was like, damn, what the hell's going on, and shit, it was I don't know, we just freaked out a little bit. I walked up there, the key was in ignition, and so I searched the premises and the barns and the house, and, you know, it's up there just to kind of to go feed some animals, and I was a little worried, you know, and I told her I'm gonna put some gloves on and pull that thing out of the driveway. It's 50 yards up the driveway, and I'm gonna, you know, call the cops when we leave. And so I did so, and then all of a sudden, you know, they went out there, and then they ended up calling, dispatch calling me back, and they started asking me questions. Where do you really live? Blah, blah, blah. And then another sergeant called, and you're a main suspect. And I was like, well, you know, there was a big wallet in the door. I didn't touch it. I left it there. The keys were in ignition. It cranked right up. The car wasn't stuck. I thought it was stuck because it was kind of on the edge of some concrete. I said, I just wanted it out of there because I got family that comes over there to feed the animals, and I don't want them to get in a bind, you know. I don't want to get in a bind. I don't want those people coming back on my property. I could tell it was a gigantic person. The seat was all the way back. I could not even tippy-toe the pedals. I had to pull it forward about a foot just to touch the pedals at all. And, you know, they start threatening me with this and that. And so I'd call the FBI, the guy I know, and he said anything wrong. I had my trespassing signs up and beware of dogs, and, you know, and I ended up calling the cop ended up saying, oh, it was stolen out of this town. So I ended up calling another town the next day, and they said, well, holler back the next day, call an investigator, because it was a holiday, you know, and on a weekend, I don't know. But they're like, oh, we don't think you did anything wrong. If you hear back from us, you know, whatever. But there is 2 case numbers, I mean, in that one county, neighboring county, and then this neighboring city, you know, that are, I don't know, 20 miles apart. But you know, I was out of town. I've got all these receipts and everything, and, you know, from hotels and everything else, and now all of a sudden I'm a suspect in what? I don't know. I mean, was there a dead body in the trunk? I had no idea. I didn't search the car. I wanted it off the property. So, you know, in my mind, cops are real fucking dumb, but I mean, and they're psychotic, and I don't have respect for them anymore. I've done a lot of my own investigating on a lot of things, and this county that was trying to, you know, lure me in, like, you need to come in, you need to come talk to me, and like, I've talked to the phone. I mean, I didn't get anything wrong with the damn thing off the property, you know. Nobody get hurt, you know. And I've got some mad beef on them on a couple of deals, and some homicide shit covered up by, you know, probably them. But they know that, and they don't like me, and they're going to ship me off to another county probably that's got the same kind of situation going on. And so, you know, life on the run is I normally have a good reason for it. I don't want to get fucking murdered by them. But anyhow, I was just gonna offer up a thing for Laundrie, you know. It's like, this sounds pretty stupid probably on my behalf maybe, but, you know, if you needed help and need to be brought in peacefully and not include the local media or cops, you know, I can do that. I can take them into the FBI. I know some people that are definitely not going to mistreat anybody or harm anybody, and, you know, get it done right. If you need to meet your attorney, you know, hey, we can do that. But just offering that up, because I'm not going to go out there and look for you. I have been to Moab, went to the Arches, and went to Salt Lake, and kind of got on the trail of Laundrie, and wasn't to track anybody, just to go on vacation, I guess, to kind of reminisce of the situation they may have been in. But plus just get some fresh air, right? It's kind of cool out that way. But you know, just saying, if there's any interest, so if you need some help, you know, you can PM me. I wouldn't know where to find you. You sound like you're pretty good in the woods, but I mean, I know for a fact that I've been in the same situation. It gets pretty lonely and depressing, and, you know, don't harm yourself. Just try to deal with it however you can. But if you need some help, just holler.